Here are three funds you should consider investing for your kids. Quick disclaimer before we get into it, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you how I think about long-term positioning, especially when it comes to kids. So let's dive into number one. One of the most interesting themes for me from a long-term perspective is quantum computing, which today feels a lot like maybe AI 5 to 10 years ago. It was misunderstood, it was too early, and it was very, very easy for you to ignore. Now, when it comes to quantum computing, instead of me trying to bet on a single company, I like to diversify my exposure. And the ETF that I like when it comes to quantum computing is the Defiance Quantum ETF, QTUM. This ETF gives you access to quantum hardware, software, semiconductors, and enabling technology. And remember, this isn't about what quantum computing can do in 2025 or 2026. It's about what quantum computing can do by the time your kids are adults. The next ETF is one that gives you exposure to next generation aviation and autonomous technology through the ARC Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF, ARKQ. This ETF includes companies involved in robotics, autonomous systems, and more importantly, eVTOL aviation. So think about Joby Aviation and Arch Aviation, because urban air mobility, which might sound futuristic today, I think is probably going to be quite normal in 5 to 10 years, similar to driverless cars or ride sharing or even electric vehicles were like a decade ago, right? And then the third and final ETF is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. So think of SPY or VOO, right? And the reason why I would have that as the third ETF to invest in for your kids is, we have a lot of historical data on the S&P 500 performance. We know that is going to perform anywhere between 8 to 10% on average per year. So you know that at least whatever portion you're allocating to the S&P 500, you're going to see that money compound and grow at least by 8 to 10% over time. And then if your quantum computing ETF and your autonomous technology ETFs are significant home runs, now your kids can enjoy the asymmetrical return that comes from those two ETFs while also having the stability and balance from the S&P 500. I've put together a much longer list with about 7 ETFs that you can look at. And if you want that list, just type ETF in the comments and I'll shoot it over right to you.